A lot of really nice things happened in the hospice situation. So the staff, out of all of my experience, the staff have been amazing. They noticed it was Greg's birthday coming up, and one of the nurses said, "Oh, you've got Greg's birthday coming up," and it was like 10 days' time. And she obviously knew that he probably wouldn't make it. And she said, "Oh, you can bring it forward if you like and have a party down," and they had this beautiful wellness centre, and we could use that because it wasn't open on the weekend. So I mentioned it, and so the family organised it all, and the friends, and we had this massive party for him, and we had all photos around the room. Everyone brought, food and drink, and we wheeled him down. It was fabulous. It was so good. So little things like that made it so special.
I remember the day I said, "Okay, Bowie, we've moved to the other bedroom. I'm taking you now into your room," and I'd got him a frame, and he said, "No, just get rid of it. I don't want to know about that." So we hobbled into the room, and he stood at the door of the room that he eventually passed away in, and just looked and went, "Oh, wow," because you could see out into the gardens, and he had this big telly because he just loved TV, and his mates could come and visit him. Gave him a bell, and he threw it away. And then he started ringing the bell, and ringing it all the time, and "Yes, Bo, hello, Bo." I mean,
what's
it was just
wrong?
Gorgeous.
I'm bored.
I'm bored, yeah. He went to sleep watching great shows, and then he might flick the channel once and get onto a cooking show. So he just watched cooking shows all night because he didn't know how to change the channel. So I'd go and check on him and make sure everything was okay. And then he'd say, "Oh, shrimp. I want prawns, watermelon," and then we just went and cooked everything he desired, and then he'd take one mouthful, and that's it now, thanks.
Whatever he wanted, he got.
Whatever he wanted,
At
he
night
got.
time, it'd be, there's your espresso, because he'd watch TV all night. There's your 2 rollies, and here's a glass of water, tissues, ashtray. Are we right to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
His favourite band was the band called The Church, and so we used to go to all their gigs, and he loved them since he was 16. We couldn't go to their last concert in Melbourne because he was in the hospice or palliative care. So I messaged Steve Kilby, not expecting a reply. And the message was something like, "Oh, my husband's a huge fan of yours, has been since he was 16. Go to all your concerts, but we couldn't go to your last one, which was a couple of weeks ago. Music's great for the soul. I don't expect a reply, but if you can, if you're around." And I didn't hear anything. I thought, well, I had nothing to lose, He messaged a couple of days later, and he said he's going to America in a week, but he could FaceTime or ring though. And I went, "Oh, okay." He FaceTimed on the Sunday, and he sang all these songs, and he chatted, and he said he had to learn a song for a wedding, and he put our names in the song. It was amazing.
My wife had just died, and I think it was 3 or 4 days afterwards, and then my son also crashed, and I ran out the front door holding him on my arms, threw him in the car and got him to emergency, and they stabilised him, but the next afternoon, cancelled all other protocols and said, I'm sorry, he's going. So we all said goodbye, and I sat and had a vigil with him, which is about the only one I got, where I just sat with him, and everyone had gone home, the hospital was really quiet, and I was just sitting there talking to him over the night. He was just resting, and then the sun came up in the morning, light came through, and he just was sort of rolled on the pillow. And then he sort of opened one of his eyes, and then he opened both, and he looked at me, and he put his little finger up, and he said, "I'd like a baby chino and a special juice." At which point the ward staff came in and were incredibly apologetic. And they said, "I'm sorry, we thought he was going that night." And I said, "Well, it's paediatrics." However, then they asked me a question which is quite emotional when I think about it. They said, "Do you want to take him home?" And I replied, can we? And by the end of the day, we'd got a special bed at home, hospital bed with a nice comfortable mattress in his bedroom. So he was back in his own room, surrounded by his colours and everything else that he needed. And thinking we were going to lose him that night, we then had the most extraordinary 5 weeks at home with him.